Okay, guys, so this is something a little bit different than I normally do. I don't do much in depth. It's mostly just how does the game look? But we're going to look at something a little bit different today. So we're taking a look at the AMD Fidelity FX Super Resolution, which I have been a big fan of since I messed around with it. It's not that I like it more than DLSS. It's because of the way it works. It's more widely implementable, and so it's really a more useful option for gaining some performance, particularly on older systems such as this. So this is a i7 3930K 6-core with 32 gigs of RAM and a GTX 780 Ti video card. This is at 1440p resolution, which realistically, if you have a system like this and you want to play 1440, I mean, if you've got a system like this, you're not playing 1440. This isn't really realistic, but what we're doing here is we're really pushing this to its limit. And I'm running on 1440p monitors, and I've started doing most of my testing at 1440p. So this is with the AMD FX Super Resolution off. My opinion is for Cyberpunk 2077, minimum frame rate is not dropping below 30. You want it to be ideally at like 40-something so that when it dips, it doesn't dip below 30, but anything below 30 isn't enjoyable. And you can, I mean, it's almost playable, but the lag is noticeable. I mean, I guess if for whatever reason you didn't have access to better hardware and you had no hope of future access to better hardware and you just wanted to play Cyberpunk and see what it was about, you certainly could do this. Dropping it to 1080 would probably make this just barely playable. But let's take a look at what it does when I turn on the FX Super Resolution. So we're going to start with turning it on and running it at the balanced setting. So let's go take a look, and we're keeping everything else the same. Where is it? And we're keeping it at 2K resolution. So, as you can see, it takes it from unplayable at 1440 to just inside of playable. I mean, it's smooth and it is definitely playable. So we're just inside of playability. See, we're dropping to 30s, but see, it's staying smooth. I bet we could even have a dip into the high 20s and it wouldn't become unplayable. But it's when you're sitting at 30 and then you're dipping way lower. And again, this is really pushing the video card to its limit. And let's do this. So this is a situation where you're probably not going to care very much about quality loss. So let's take a look at what happens. Oops. What the heck? There we go. Okay, here we go. So let's turn it on to performance. Let's see if we can get up to not dropping. Obviously, there's some visual quality droppage, but yeah. See, once you get into these heavily populated areas, and it's doing tons of stuff, but it's playable. It makes it playable. That's the big takeaway here with the FX Super Resolution. Now, again, this video card is its real limiting factor is that 3 gigs of RAM, because this is a 3 gig video card. So I'm gonna bet you dollars for days. Our real gain is going to be, let's go to 1080. Let's do that. And then let's see what that does. Okay, so now we have some room to play around. So I'm going to bet we're going to get a better bang for the buck, quality and frame rate performance by doing this. So let's try that. So now we're running at low settings, 1080p resolution with the FX super resolution feature. I think set it balanced. Let's go a little bit lower. You know, I wonder. It's always interesting to play around with these settings. Let's do this. Let's do medium settings. That might not actually affect it as much as you would think. Oh, look at that. And sometimes you turn settings up and your frame rate goes up, too. That does happen. Alright, let's see what we get here. Now, I'm going to guess... Low settings and balanced. Okay, so let's see what we get here. Yeah, so the FX, I mean, it doesn't seem to be 2K that's killing it either. The FX super resolution seems to keep it just within playable. Just barely, but it's the difference between it being smooth and not smooth. And that's the big thing for me, because if it's... I don't think it matters how good the video looks if the frame rate is so slow or so low that it feels super laggy. Like there's a point of low frame rate where you're going to take. I mean, once you start dipping into the low 20s or even teens, even if the actual video quality or the the video quality is good, because you might have that situation where your video card can run it and the quality looks good, but the frame rate is in the low teens, and so it's just unplayable. And this will prevent that from happening, because this is a great option for that, to get that frame rate up just into the playable realm, basically essentially bumping you a graphics card tier. So this essentially just bumped us into 970 territory, because the 970 for some things is a little slower, for some things is a little bit faster. For Cyberpunk, it delivers, in my experience, just a little bit more than a 780 Ti, but this bumps us into 970 low-end 980 territory, basically. So the answer is yes, FX Super Resolution works on the 780 Ti, and yes, it does make a difference in playability on games on the 780 Ti. Oh, I just mowed the people down. I'm going to get arrested. Or shot at, unless I can run fast. Oh, this cop wants me dead. Ooh, okay. That was bad. I'm going to jail. I'm going to go to jail for a long time. Oh, look at all those crimes. Oh, I committed a lot of crimes. Oh, look, I got killed. See that? That's what happens when you commit crimes, kids. So don't criminal. Don't go criminaling. Okay, so I hope you guys find this interesting and informative, and thanks for watching the video.